Okay, good morning. Getting us set up again. I know a lot of you guys hate this angle, but it is the best way for me to use the computer and make the video at the same time. So what we're doing today, we're actually going to be working on two activities. We're going to be doing, we're monitoring water quality, doing a partner activity that you're actually going to be doing on Google Classroom. It's going to be posted up there in a minute. And then the other thing that you have, your study guide is already in the pickup bin. So your quiz, of course, is tomorrow. Been saying all week, quiz Friday. Tomorrow is Friday, quiz tomorrow. And so the study guide is already in the pickup bin. A review of the study guide will, as normal, be posted after school today. And we'll watch the review at the start of class tomorrow before we actually take the quiz. Then there'll be an after quiz activity dealing with an article and looking at a word search. For today, you're going to be looking at water quality. We're going to view a couple of videos, some background information on Great Lakes water quality. That's actually why I wore my Chicago tie. Chicago had some of the same issues. Back at the turn of the last century, our river was so polluted we were dumping all of our sewage and stuff into Lake Michigan, ruining the water quality. Made some big differences for the World's Columbia Exposition. But that is a whole other topic. We're actually going to be looking at one that's closer to modern times, the way that the industry around Lake Erie, Toronto, Toledo, Cleveland, other cities in that area were kind of ruining that lake. And so we are going to be seeing how they were dumping things into the rivers, and it was all flowing into Lake Erie. Lake Erie was actually deemed dead at one point. This will be coming up in our review. We got two review things. The first one is going to be looking at the pollution hitting Lake Erie in the 1970s. And the second one is actually going to be taking a look at how they're kind of seeing some issues again, just within the last like 10 or 15 years. I don't remember the exact date right now. And how they're trying to deal with that. They're looking at algal blooms now. So it's not just pollution, it's actually the fertilizers flowing in and causing algal blooms. You're going to be then using that to compare your own data with a shoulder partner. It'll be a Google Classroom assignment. So we'll of course be following the example of the LVI to be able to work with a shoulder partner on our Google Classroom assignment. Make sure to put both names on it so both of you can get credit. Some of you have been struggling with that with the paper assignments from the last couple days. You'll work through that. When you're finished, pending time, there's a couple of options of what you can do. First option would be to go ahead and take a look at the study guide. The study guide is nearly identical to the test, so it should be a big help to you. Second thing, if there's a lot of time remaining, I want you to take a look back at the activity from the other day where you had to review Lake Walton, pick a specific place, and then see how the pollution was flowing in. With that activity, I want you to consider where you might plant plants, and this will be up on the demo board, where you might plant plants to try to reduce the pollution flowing into Lake Walton. So that's going to be kind of an exit slip activity for today, is where you would plant your plants to reduce the pollution flowing into Lake Walton. If you lost your background information on Lake Walton, I do still have the maps around. They are here by the radiator table. So you can go ahead and just pick a location, answer it on a half sheet or even a full sheet, talk about where you would actually put plants. The reason I want you to do this is because it is in fact going to be on the test. We can see on the back of the study guide, we're looking at, Loop Lake was our example in class. Lake Walton is on the study guide. And you're going to be doing a similar thing where you're going to actually mark an X where you're going to try to control things, pollution flowing into the lake. So that is the reason I want you to consider that for today's exit slip, is because I want you to be prepared to be able to do that on the test tomorrow. It's going to be on the study guide, and like I said, study guide review will be posted after school. So that is what we're looking at for today. I'm going to go ahead and get off the screen so that we can move on to our background information about pollution flowing into the Great Lakes, and then look at our PBS NewsHour story out of Detroit, looking at how the algal blooms were actually coming back into Lake Erie, so that you guys can get onto that partner activity on Google Classroom. All right, so here we go.